That was a wild one. Oh, man, that was a wild one. We will take it, though. Oh, man. Well, for the first 57 and a half minutes of the game, didn't look too good. Didn't look too good. And then, yeah. Let's get into this Oilers Lightning recap. We're going to talk about that, plus Caps round 3, which includes round 2 at in their home arena. So that's why I say Caps round 2 when we get to that side, and then Double Barrel What If. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. Oilers led for most of the game, following an early first period goal from Trent Frederick, his second of the year, about a minute and a half into the game roughly. So Bolts were kind of stunned by that, but then after that, Vasi really kind of settled in, and even the goal of Frederick was kind of, it happens. So the rest of the matchup basically scoreless, from, almost 2-minute mark to the 57.5-minute mark, nothing. 55 minutes of gameplay, nothing. So the goalies were just going off. Vasi and Pickard for the Oilers. Pickard played great, man. Both of them stymied the opposing offenses. They were just left and right. Vasi really looked like Vasi tonight, y'all. He looked like Vasi, and it's just, man, it was good to see. Sorry, y'all saw it. Y'all got a tease for the second What If, so there you go. But anyways, he looked like Vasi. 22 saves, 957 save percentage. Other than the Frederick goal, it was great, especially at the end, man. At the end with that wild save he made, back to back, and then went back the other way. Gooch scored. So we'll take that all day. Pickard stopped 33 Bolt shots, though, so he was busy. He was playing pretty well. He kept another Stanley Cup contender from scoring for over the first 57 minutes of the game. It's just utterly bonkers. Great performance from him, really. And then, Nick Paul, first game back after 19 games in the IR to start the season. Game time goal, baby. So then it was 1-1. We went to OT. And then less than 2 minutes into OT, Gunsel again, 12th of the year, and a game winner. So, we'll take a 2-1 win over a team like the Oilers any day of the week. It was scrappy. It was hard fought. We kept shooting. Shoot or shoot. And the best way to score in this game is to shoot. Pickard had a great game. He stopped 33 shots, but it was the 34th and 35th ones he couldn't stop, but the ones that did him in. So, it happens. But we'll take it. Hey, 4 different Bolts and notched assists on the night. Moser had his 5th, Lilleberg had his 2nd, and Radish had his 6th. So 3 defensemen got in on it. Gooch also had his 10th assist of the year on the game winner. So we'll take it all day. Gunsel, man, just on an utter tear of late. Maybe his hottest streak so far as a Bolt. Since the Bolts started their current 10-3 run with the winner with Anaheim on October 25th, Gunsel notched 13 points. Actually, he's had an average of a point per game. That includes the game winner tonight and the hat trick in the 5-1 winner with the Devils a couple days ago. So, great all-around hockey. We're really, really looking forward to it. And he's really starting to come into his own, especially playing alongside Sorelli on that second line. So, Paul's goal, though, was pretty cool. 200th point of his NHL career, so yet another milestone for the Bolts this year. We've already seen quite a few. But, Hedman, Kurnak, and McDonough still out with injuries, but Paul's back now, so that's good. It looks like the offense is pretty much almost fully back to normal. Once we get Pontus Holmberg back, I think we're really going to be clicking on all cylinders. So we're looking like we're about there, and that's exactly what we need. Hedman was also placed on the IR today, though, and Coop told Benjamin Pierce But he'll probably be out for a couple more weeks. So, we'll see what happens there. Crozier's on the IR as well, so is McDonough. Chernak, not yet, so we'll see. But, yeah. It's a bit of a bummer, though, because that leaves us going into the final Capitals matchup of the year, short-handed. And this is round 2 in their building, so that's why it says round 2 there, but Caps round 3 on the side. So, yeah, Bolts are entering the rubber match of the 3-game series tied at 1 apiece with the Caps, right? So the Caps won the first one, 3-2, in their building on October 14th. Then, 2 weeks ago, right, Bolts came in. They came into their own building, yeah. So they came into the bench, and they beat the Caps by the same score, 3-2. Just beat them regular time. And the season series finale, I should say, will take place back in Washington. So, both the Bolts and the Caps are looking to right the ship. They both had kind of rough starts of the season, but now they're getting back into form. Caps are 11-8-2. So it's good enough for 4th place in a very, very competitive metro. They're tied with Pittsburgh and Columbus in that 4th spot. They won 3 in a row, so they're going to be looking to come into this rubber match with us, trying to grab 4 in a row. Okay, don't be surprised though to see Vasi back in the crease. Right, he's been really heating up these last few games, especially tonight with 22 saves and 957 save percentage in the win. In the win over the Oilers. So, don't be surprised to see him once again really, I don't want to say carrying the goalie position, because JoJo had a bad start against the Canucks, but really it was a bad 3 minutes, and other than that, he's been playing pretty well. So, Vasi will continue to be his number 1, obviously, but so JoJo needs more starts. Anyways, but don't be surprised to see Vasi back in it. The Bolts are 10-3 in their last 13, rebounding it from a 1-4-2 start, so not bad at all. Many key defenders, though, are out right now. Like Hedman, McDonough, Chernak, Crozier, all out. So that's a bit of a rough one. But Declan Carlisle and Steven Zantini played pretty well again tonight, so we'll see what happens, Bolts are 5-2-2 on the road this season. They've done a lot of their damage during this winning streak away from the bench. If that form continues, they could get past the Red Wings for the number 1 spot in the Atlantic Division, though. The Red Wings are only 1 point up on the Bolts. Bolts and Bruins are both tied at 24 points. Detroit has 25. So, Bolts win. A early division lead could appear. We'll see. One thing to note, though. Legendary Alex Ovechkin has been on a tear for the Caps the last few games. He scored points in 5 of their last 6, including 4. And last night's 8-4 win over Montreal. Like, absolutely bonkers. This followed a goal and another offensive explosion from the Caps on Wednesday night when they beat Edmonton 7-4. So, it's going to be a good one. Both games ended 3-2. It won't surprise me if this one ended 3-2. Hopefully it ends 3-2 in favor of the Bolts, though. And that's exactly what we want to see. Because, whenever the Caps then means possibly first place and beating the Caps in the season series. And we'll take that for sure. Especially if we won't see them again until the playoffs. So, not going to happen between now and then for sure. But yeah, double barrel, what if? We're going to start with the best player in the world, Connor McDavid. The 2015 first overall pick is considered to be the best player in professional hockey today. Hands down. I tell you what, he did sign his extension a few weeks back, right before the season started. Signed a new deal. Oh, man. It was the same. I was surprised it was the same AAV. $12.5 million a year. That's what he's been making for 2 years. So he'll be a unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2028. And, tonight against the Bolts, played 24 minutes, 24 shifts, no points, -1 ±, 3 shots on goal. So, not the best night for McDavid, but there's no denying what he could bring to this team. And I remember, he's led the Oilers to back-to-back Stanley Cup appearances. They've lost twice in a row to the Panthers. Can he lead into a third straight this year? That's the question. However, remember, the Oilers have been real up and down. We talked about that in the preview yesterday, right? They've been really up and down, haven't been consistent. Showed again tonight against the Bolts at reared its ugly head. Played great defense all night. But their defense is ranked 32nd across the board in multiple statistics. So, I don't want to say it's bound to happen, but it felt like it was bound to happen. So, even when his current deal ends, right, after the 27-28 season, so when that ends, his physical prime could already start to be slipping away, right? Usually around 32, 33 is when it happens. But even if that happens, his high hockey IQ should allow him to be an offensive force well into his mid to late 30s. It should... Whoa. Texas beat the Bills, y'all. Wow. And, if the Oilers fall short again in their bid to win the title, would he want to leave? Would he want to go somewhere else? The inconsistent form's been head-scratching for Edmonton because they don't have too many injuries. They have a couple key guys out like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but still, this is mostly the same team that got to the Stanley Cup the past 2 years. So, it's kind of interesting, too, because McDavid has 32 points so far, 9 goals and 23 assists, but for the first time since his rookie year, he is the negative plus minus. He's a negative 5. And a 23-25 time on ice average. So, it would be the first time, if he did finish with a negative this year, it would be the first time he finished with a negative plus minus since his rookie season when he went negative 1. So, but man, imagine a top line with McDavid, Kucherov, and Hagel. How wild that would be. How fun that could be. Yeah, McDavid would be utterly bonkers in this lineup. It'd be wild. And then, obviously the want for him would be 10 out of 10. I would love to have Connor McDavid in the middle of the Bolts lineup. But, the Oilers are probably, a lot of things would have to happen in conjunction in order to trade him, even as soon as this trade deadline. It's unlikely, but maybe next summer. Maybe a little after that. Either way, McDavid and Bull Blue would be sick. And even if we couldn't lock him into a long-term deal, you can bet your 2 cents that we would chase the title with him constantly. Our title chasing would go into overdrive. So, but a guy that could help us now and in the future, other than McDavid, obviously, is also another Connor McMichael. Really like him. 2019 first-round pick by the Capitals. Currently in his 5th full season with Washington after a 1-game stint in 2020-2021. He did have a 6-game shortened season in 2022-2023, but he's been on the Capitals roster the majority of their matchups for those other years. 68 games his rookie season, 80 games in 23-2024, and then 82 the full games like last year. So in those 82 games, career high 57 points, 26 goals, 31 assists, plus 19 plus minus 16, 48 TOI. So it was a career year. And actually, his plus minus went up 39 points from the year before. The year before, he had a negative 20 plus minus, and then last year he had a plus 19. So, fantastic for McMichael. Currently the 3rd-line center for the Caps. Played 20 games so far this year. 15.59 time on ice, so a little down from last year, but that's okay. He still carries a ton of responsibility. Plus 3 plus minus, 10 points with 2 goals and 8 assists. So, definitely contributing and playing well. Especially with the Caps still very much in the contention for their division title. He's 24, going to be an RFA next summer. So, if we traded for him, obviously an extension would hopefully follow very shortly afterwards. If not, it might be all for naught. But imagine him playing on the 3rd line with Bjorky and Dominic James. That'd be awesome. I would love that. So, a lot of RFAs next summer, too. So Michael might not get the big deal he wants, and if he doesn't, then, the Caps could look to deal him. So, this one is a lot more possible than McDavid one, I feel like, at this point. We'll have to keep an eye on it, especially if the Caps start to backslide. But tomorrow, we're going to recap the Caps game, preview the Flyers game, and do double barrel what if as well. So, pretty busy one tomorrow as well. Oh, so this is Jordan with Lightning Latest signing off, and I will see y'all later. Have a good one. Actually, sorry, on Monday, so I'll see you Monday. Have a good one.